This is a Fox News alert. We have more on today's terror attack in London coming up in just a few minutes. But first, earlier today, House Intelligence Chairman Reb Nunes made the bombshell announcement confirming what President Trump has now been saying for weeks, that, in fact, surveillance was collected on members of his team and himself. Now, Nunes briefed the president at the White House earlier today, and afterwards he took questions from the, well, destroy press media. Take a look.
Are you saying that it was political surveillance of political opponents, as the president has suggested in his tweets?
What I've read bothers me, and I think it should bother the president himself and his team, because I think some of it seems to be inappropriate.
Now, President Trump was asked today about these revelations, and here is what he said. Take a look.
Do you feel vindicated by Chairman Nunes coming over here?
I somewhat do. I must tell you, I somewhat do. I very much appreciated the fact that they found what they found, but I somewhat do.
And still with us, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, I look at this and I say, wow, here it is. The media has been so wrong for so long. You know, they're trying to make a big deal. Well, was he actually wiretapped or were there surveillance? For 2 weeks on this program, we have been pointing out that, in fact, surveillance did take place. Now this is confirmed. And Reb Nunes, the House Intelligence Committee chair, is very disturbed. I think every American should feel the same way. Your thoughts?
Well, I hope that both the House and Senate Intelligence Committees are going to dig into this and rip apart the bureaucracies and find out who did it, who authorized it, how did they make the changes that the Obama committee made, the Obama presidency made, to make it easier to leak. This is really very, very sobering about American civil liberties. Here apparently you have a president whose party is defeated, who then uses the intelligence apparatus of the United States and then changes the rules knowing it will make it easier to leak. And this whole thing is sick. I also think that it is astonishing to have had everybody pile on President Trump and now turn out that President Trump is right. I look forward to the New York Times and the Washington Post issuing editorials of mea culpa admitting that Trump was right and they were wrong. And I love the idea of CBS and NBC and ABC actually admitting that their coverage has been wrong and their assumptions have been wrong.
All
CNN
of them have
and
been wrong.
MSNBC.
They've been wrong.
Yeah.
They've all been wrong. But there's a real danger here to me, and that is, look, I understand. I'm a big supporter of the intelligence community, as I know you are, Mr. Speaker. A lot of these people put their lives on the line. This is an evil, dangerous world. We need that intelligence. But there are very specific laws and rules regarding the wiretapping surveillance of Americans. We still have a First, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth Amendment here, okay? And if there are rules, for example, if they're surveilling, say, a Russian ambassador, an Iranian ambassador, that's their job. But if they notice an American is on the line, they're supposed to practice what's called minimization. I've also talked to those people that have worked in intelligence. Normal practices, they don't identify who the American is. They will say an American. But in the case of General Flynn, they mentioned him. Now we know that they had surveillance on the president-elect and on members of his transition team. Well, did they have a warrant for those? Apparently not. It might be more felonies.
Have deep investigations, tear this thing apart, and figure out who did what, when did they do it, who authorized it, who broke the law, and then insist that the Justice Department prosecute the people who broke the law. I mean, this is one of the most incredible breaches that I can think of since World War II, where an American elected, the new elected president, is being, in effect, spied upon by his own government. That's really sobering.
Well, there's one other point to that, and it is James Clapper, National Director of Intelligence, the FBI Director, Admiral Rogers have all said not one vote, not one, was influenced, as was asked by Chairman Nunes in the hearings. All right, I've got to move on to one other question. And we have Mark Meadows and Congressman Dave Brack coming up. I spoke to Freedom Caucus members earlier today. They were no, at least 30, probably more, that they had that were not going to vote for this bill. In the course of today, there have been meetings with the White House, and more specifically the president and Mark Meadows himself. There's been a breakthrough tonight. Now, the only thing that I hear is remaining is the actual language, but an agreement in principle has been made. How important is this, that the president is the one that made that breakthrough?
Look, this is vitally important. It's Donald Trump at his best. He did write the art of the deal. I think it was extremely important that they avoid a defeat on this first big test of his presidency. I am delighted that he's intervened personally to break up what was apparently a logjam between the Speaker and the Freedom Caucus. And I think it is very much to President Trump's credit. And let me say also to Reince Priebus's credit, who has been very hard working trying to get this thing to come together just right. So I think that the President, Vice President Pence, and Reince Priebus have all helped unlock this thing. I hope that sometime this evening that Speaker Ryan is going to accept language and they're going to have a deal done. If they do, and if it passes tomorrow, this is a historic moment, and it is President Trump's moment. He will have earned it.
You know, it was interesting as I was talking to these Freedom Caucus members today, their number one concern was defending the president on this because they felt if this doesn't work, it hurts him. And that was their main argument. Very interesting behind the scenes. But, Mr. Speaker, I hope they learn from this, too, and maybe they can build more consensus before they roll out bills. Hopefully we learn a lesson, but I agree with you. A lot of people worked very hard and came together in the end.